Jesus certainly is one of those. There is a lot of talk about whether he's prolific enough in front of goal for Arsenal, Michael. I mean, he's been playing on the left, actually, for a lot of the season as well. Where do you see as his best position? How do you get the best out of him? You say that, you've got a little grin on your face
It's
there.
a good... I know. Of course, he's top class. I mean, he's brilliant. But you have to look at his return and think, what are Arsenal? Where do Arsenal want to go? And it might be very, very cruel, but is he one of the best 5 strikers in the world? If the answer is no, which I think the answer is no, then Arsenal probably could do with getting somebody better. If that's where Arsenal want to go. I mean, I'm looking at Arsenal now. I'm looking at this tournament thinking, who is like Manchester City, the favourites? Who then? I mean, Arsenal are right up there with the favourites of this tournament. So they've got to be looking at the Premier League. They've got to be looking at the Champions League and thinking, that's our next step. And if they're going to have that next step, they need an absolute top class. I mean, what have they had over the years? Yeah. Arsenal are used to having great strikers, from Ian Wright to Thierry Henry to Robin van Persie. Brilliant strikers. I think it's probably a position, even though I do like Jesus, I think it's a position they could probably improve.
I wouldn't say he's a predator, but I think he sets a fantastic example, the way that he works within this team. And I think nowadays, the wide players, you know, they're kind of developing much more, aren't you? You see Saka coming inside, Trossard getting his goals. So it's not so quite as important, but of course you want someone with a good return. But he's setting an example in that team. And I think now, with Rice in there in that midfield as well, I think when he came out against Spurs, I think you saw a big loss there. It's OK to have Havertz and Ødegaard, but you need a defensive-minded player. So I'm very interested to see. And he's growing, isn't he? Of course, the successes with West Ham last year in Europe, I know it's not quite the competition, but Arsenal are babies in the Champions League. You know, you gather that experience, and it's difficult. Back in the day, with the Wenger days, we'd won a Winners' Cup. We got to a final, but still we went out of the Champions League very early because we didn't have the experience. It's kind of the competition of last-minute goals. So you have to focus really, and you're going to learn a lot tonight about these players because it's a difficult environment, this one tonight.
The wide players could save Jesus in many ways. If you think back to someone like Firmino at Liverpool, he didn't get massive number of goals, but he had a huge role in the team, and it's similar in many ways to Jesus. But the wide players scored. Sadio Mane and Mo Salah scored so many goals. If Arsenal's wide players can up their game even further, they're brilliant as it is, but even they can up their game even further, then they might get away with a centre-forward that lacks, 25 goals a season.
Yeah, they're looking